I'm just checking. Hello? 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 Yeah. Oh, let's share. I have to always check my audio to make sure it's working. Facebook looks weird. Let's refresh. That's weird. This is really weird. Everything's reload. Ah, that's better. So, hello. Hi. Welcome to the stream. So someone kind of gave me the idea to do the stream earlier, and I hadn't even thought about that before. Possibility of doing it earlier. I just hadn't realised I could do it earlier rather than later. So I might try that next week and do it earlier. So find a spot upstairs where there's no children and do it there. I never thought about doing that. So yeah, I'm going to try and do it a bit earlier next week. And see how that works, if it works. So yeah. So I'll adjust my website and I'll put a post on Facebook or something just saying about the new time for next week. So la 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 la. Life as an appearance. La 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 la. I just feel to do that. La la la. So what is being spoken about is this cup. Is this cup of peppermint tea, or mint tea in this case? Yeah, just mint tea. This cup is what is being spoken about. And it's kind of difficult to say much about that. I mean, it's appearing. The isness or the aliveness of it doesn't really need to or can't really be described, or it is without any description. It just is appearing. And that's the way life is. Life is appearing. Appearances are appearing. Things seem to be happening. And spirituality, in the end, it boils it boils down to that this is happening, this is appearing. Full stop. Full stop. Only in humans there seems to be the ability to communicate and the ability to put sounds or concepts into language. We have the ability to conceptualize this object. We can make up a name and language around it, and that's how humans can communicate. It's made up language, made up descriptions, made up meaning, in order for our particular way of functioning. It's actually really beautiful. It's really beautiful. But what comes with that is so much complication. And what also seems to come with that is the conceptualizing of a person, the conceptualizing that there is someone, a separate, independent someone sitting here and seeing and speaking and thinking. So yes, it's useful. It began maybe with a useful purpose to be able to describe, I am going to bed, or I'm going to make some food. It was useful to describe the body is going, and the word I was used, the word I in English anyway, the word I. So I am going to have a drink. I am sitting here. I am listening. I am seeing. I am thinking. So it's just a useful way to communicate, to describe. But it began to, like, began to become alive. Like it began to, the energy began to believe that there really was someone sitting here, independent, going to make food or going to bed, or and that story or description of someone doing actions became a felt reality. It felt to be very real. So rather than a simple thought story about someone, like a what's the word, like a transparent, just a thought about someone, it became really experientially the way it felt. That thought of I became like an energetic reality. And this is the beginning of separation, the dream of separation, that there is someone sitting here, there is someone living. And it seems to have become just a part of being human. So a part of being human is growing up, and this contraction, this identification, this energetic limitation of being someone seems to just happen in humans. Like it's passed on, the society begins to take that idea on and base it around it being true, and then that seems to be the experience. of the human reality, Maya, I think they call it Maya, the illusion. But it's not fulfilling, or you could call it suffering, to be enslaved to the dream of being someone, the dream of existing as someone separate. It doesn't feel fulfilling, and there's a deeper longing or a deeper looking for something, looking for truth, or looking for the answer, or looking for what's wrong here, looking for something. Like, this can't be heaven, it can't be right. So some humans improving it, so getting a better job, getting the house situation sorted out, making the physical body better, so improving the looks, or having surgery or something to improve the physical appearance of the body. That's what's wrong. Some humans try to learn more and become really smart and clever. So all these different aspects or different avenues are pursued to try and feel better in this separate experience. And then some look to religion or spirituality for the answers to why this feels the way it feels, why nothing attained or found is fulfilling, why nothing seems to remove this feeling of incompleteness. And so the spiritual journey is begun. Sorry. The spiritual journey is begun. It's actually a really beautiful journey, to begin to look and find out, like, what's wrong, like the normal things that you're told are the answer aren't quite it, and there's a longing or looking for something more, like more permanent or more fulfilling or more it. And what's being pointed to, or what's being described or pointed out or expressed is a description of that human condition, the human condition of seeking for fulfillment, seeking for wholeness. That's being described, what seems to happen in humans. And then what's being pointed to is the end of that looking for or seeking for. Not a finding of something, but at the end of that seeking for, the end of that looking for. Because what is looked for is this, is what's happening, is what's appearing. That's what's looked for, because that's all there is, what is appearing, what is happening. The suffering is that dream of someone, whether it be a dream of someone looking for a better career, or looking for a better home life, or looking for spirituality or awakening. That is the suffering. Looking for what it isn't, when all there is what is. All there is life happening. Simply life happening. So it was freely here the whole time. It can't not be here. It can't not be what is. That's all there is. So it's not pointing to something that's far off or unattainable, although it is unattainable, but what's being pointed to is what is. Simply what is. Simply what is. All things. This. Whatever this is. The only suffering there is you, about you. You and your ideas, you and your beliefs, you and your stories. The story of I, story of you. That's the only place for suffering and looking and seeking. And so freedom is right here. This is freedom. Freedom from that suffering story. but it's so strongly ingrained, so strongly ingrained. The identification with thought and identification with the emotions and what they mean and where I'm heading to and where I've been. It doesn't mean stories don't appear. Stories appear, they're part of being human, to communicate. Everything that is spoken is a story. It can't not be a story. Oh, God. I've got to silence my phone. So they can't not be stories. But what's being spoken about is this collapsing of an energy that identifies with stories, identifies with the mind, who's living through stories as if they're a reality when it's not true. Like identifying with a cloud that's passing through the sky, moving through the sky. It's simply not true. Doesn't mean clouds don't appear, that they do. It's a part of the appearance that clouds appear in the same way that thoughts appear, emotions appear, action appears. To try and be nobody and not think and not feel and not live, it is not what is being spoken about. The human is human. The human becomes even more free to be human. Free to be what it is appearing as, just free. Free. Not feeling imprisoned by ideas of who it is, who it needs to be, who it should be. What was the title again? Life as an appearance. Life as an appearance. So this is life appearing. This is life appearing. And that's it. That's it. That's it. This is life appearing. This is life appearing. Okay, so let's just see if there's any comments or questions on Skype. On Skypey. Let's have a look. Hello, Lucas. Hello, Adrian. Lucas, I can say a few words. Okay. Yeah.
Oh. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. I want to say about my feeling about the question of story. Don't you think sometimes that non-duality teachings too much don't like the story like suffering is when is story, without story is no suffering, but why suffering is, I mean story.
Sorry,
story
you've lost me. I don't know much what you're saying. Can you try and say it? Repeat it. Sorry.
Sorry. I mean the question about story.
Yeah.
Why non-duality teachings saying, I don't know, bad words about story? Why
bad words? Sorry.
Why story everyone. I don't know it's everyone, but maybe many people in non-duality that end of story is end of suffering.
Mm.
But maybe story can be, maybe life with story can be also better than life without story. I don't know. Maybe some people, maybe only for some people is the problem that they seeing everything through the story. do you think the story is something should be ended to have better life?
I have no idea how you would end stories. I mean, so end thinking. We often begin maybe thinking you have to end thinking and stop thinking. But that's not what.
The story of me, story of you. Some teachers saying that the I is the problem,
Yeah.
and the suffering endings when there is no I with story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to say why so many teachers saying that, because I actually don't agree with this.
Okay.
Maybe not I don't agree, because it's not me that don't agree. I know it's the source saying something through me, but actually, even if this is the story created by the source, this is something, I don't know, maybe for be happy. Can you understand me a little?
Not really, but I'll just speak. I'm not really sure what you're asking, what you're saying, but I'll just speak anyway and see. I'll just pause you while I just speak, because I can't handle interrupting when I'm speaking.
Okay, so I will.
Oh,
I will.
I've muted myself.
I will.
What's this? Unmute.
Just question. Do you think the life with story is worse than life with story?
I'm not really sure what you're asking, but I'm just going to speak anyway.
Is the story something worse?
Sorry, I'm just trying. Yeah.
Worse? Something is better, and opposite is something is worse. Yes? Worse? Sorry, I still learning English.
Yes, okay. Do you mind letting me just respond, and then you can come back and speak? I can't mute you. I can't mute you on my end. That's more on Zoom. I can't mute you on here, so I couldn't do it. So
maybe less chance. Is there a problem when there is the story?
Yeah.
This is my question.
So here, it doesn't feel like stories are a problem. So by stories, I mean thoughts and thinking. It doesn't feel like thinking or thoughts are a problem. The only seeming problem, which there isn't, but the sense of suffering that happens in humans is based around this sense that happens, which isn't a personal thing that you've done wrong, but this sense of being someone inside the body looking out. So this sense begins when you're really young of being a limitation, that you end with the body. It just seems to happen. And the thinking develops more and more. So the thoughts start to happen more and more at a certain age. And it begins to feel as if what thoughts are saying, so you in here or them out there, or you're this, you're that, and I'm going here, I'm doing that. It starts to feel that that is who you are. This sense of ownership, this sense of these thoughts are mine and referring to me. I'm someone living. This is the cause, let's say, of human suffering. And it's totally impersonal. No one's doing that. It's just an illusion that seems to happen in humans. And so identified with the thinking, it believes it will find the answer, or it will find something in the future through thinking, because thinking is about time, about past and future. So it's identified with this thinking faculty or thoughts. So I don't believe that thoughts are a problem. They're just thoughts that appear, just talking that appears. But it's this identification with that. But it isn't someone doing that either. It's just what happens.
Yeah, understand. Yeah.
So to say the end of suffering is the end of that energetic belief in the story of I, the story of me. It's the end of something. Doesn't mean stories stop, thoughts stop. It's just the end of this identification with all of it. It's just thoughts happening. It's just action happening. It's just feelings happening.
Is it also about maybe about some distance? Maybe not actually ending, but having totally absolute distance?
Maybe initially it feels like that, as if like you are watching maybe the thoughts or watching the emotions or watching the behavior. You can maybe start off with that sense of being, oh, I'm free from what's appearing. So yeah, that can be a part of it, but that is still part of the dream. It's still part of like you existing as something. Even though now you're distant from it, you're still existing as a thing, a form. So as being something, there's bound to be fluctuation in that, of not being that and then being that and then not being that and then being that. There'll always be this change and constant swing between left and right, duality. And what's being talked about ultimately is the collapsing of that, or the seeing through of that as well, of you being anything, of you being empty, or of you being nothing, or of you being stillness. It's the seeing through of the whole thing, of you being anything, of having any position in this, because that is the illusion, that you exist, no matter what, as that you exist, period, is the suffering, really, because it isn't true, because what's happening isn't belonging to someone or happening to someone.
Yeah. that is
Yeah. Yeah.
That's mind-blowing
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, it is. It is mind blowing. It's crazy. And yet this, yeah, this is. And the idea of it being happening to someone only appears as a thought or an idea. This is.
Yeah, sometimes I have feeling that there is always good when it's crazy. Yeah, when it's crazy is funny. Not even if it's not funny, when it's also crazy is some kind of humor.
Yeah, it is crazy. It really is crazy because it's not in the mind's neat package of what it knows, what is right, what is true, what is, makes sense. It isn't at all contained in the mind. So it is crazy. You lose your mind. Yeah, and it's scary as well to lose the mind. It's scary to not be contained within the seeming safety of the intellect. Can bring up a lot of fear.
Yeah. Oneness speaks speech.
Oneness speaks speech.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for so many words to have.
Yeah. Thank you for calling, Lucas. Bye.
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 Have a good night.
Sorry, I pressed end before you finished speaking. I apologize. Yeah. Adrian. Adrian. I have a written question. Yep, that's fine. I'm curious about what you think about other dimensions, non-physical dimensions, like the astral world. Have you experienced things like that? Because I had, and since then I can't settle with just non-duality. But I still always come back to this message because I find it so calming and appeasing. I just don't want to disappear. I want to go on traveling to other dimensions. Thank you very much. Yeah. Like you want to continue to live and experience. But this really isn't a dry message. You may feel like it's a dry message, like, oh, this is it, and therefore there's no more living, and that's not what's being spoken of. So other dimensions aren't outside of non-duality. They aren't something else. It would still be an appearance. It would still be a form appearing. It would still be a form appearing, just like the chair appearing, or the door, or the wall, or the computer. Instead, you have other dimensions appearing, angels, or whatever it is you're enjoying. But it's all form, it's all appearances, and none of it is true. None of it is true. and the peace that is longed, the peace that is longed for, isn't found in that experience, no matter how beautiful it is. So how beautiful the house is, the partner is, the angels are, the bliss is. It will never be enough. It will never do it. It will never be it. So you're afraid to disappear, but actually the longing is to disappear. Thank you, Adrian, or Adrian, I'm not sure. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Sabrina. Life as an appearance is an interesting theme. Life sounds so precious, important, and serious when there is that contraction in the body, feeling of being a separate entity. And tonight's theme sounds to invite to see life differently. Tonight's theme sounds actually confronting, different from common view. Yeah. Normally life isn't seen as an appearance, it's seen as reality. We see it as a fixed thing. We know what it is, we have ideas about it, it's reality, it's truth. And that's just not the way it is. It's not the way it is at all. So it is confronting, because all that we hold important is appearing in that. All that we hold on to is appearing in that. And to hear that it isn't a fixed reality, it doesn't exist as a fixed thing, it is confronting. And it's can create anger and all sorts, to question the beliefs. Yeah. It is a totally different way, a totally different way to the common view, as you put. Yeah, totally different. Like it's a flip, total flip. Thank you, Sabrina. Have a good week. Thank you, Lucas. You too. Thank you for answering. There is no ultimate reality anyway. That's what I got from what you just said. I'm not sure what I said on dimensions, and there is no ultimate reality. There is just this. There is just what's happening. And that's really, really profound, really beautiful, and really simplistic, and really, really can't quite think of a word for it, but it's really like simple. Any idea of reality can only be an idea that isn't happening, that isn't true. It's an idea. Like a landscape in the mind or something. Ultimate reality. When there's just this, there's just what's happening. the primal reality, just this, the actual reality. Super simple, super simple. Too simple for the intellect, for the mind. That's always a step ahead, always in time. This, this, this. And it's all things. It's all things. You can't be lacking anything. It's all things. This is all you really need, in a way. What is happening? It's all taken care of. It's all happening. There's hunger. There's eating. There's tiredness. There's sleeping. There's talking. There's interacting. There's life happening. Thank you, Adrienne. Okay, so maybe that's enough. So I'm going to do it a bit earlier. I've had this brainwave of an idea to do it a bit earlier next week. But yeah, I'll post about that when I decide on the time. Maybe 7, I think. 7. The kids are occupied around then, so I can sneak off and do the stream. Maybe we'll see. Okay, thank you for joining and for asking and interacting and for everything. Okay, bye.